Okay. Never mind.
You're all worried about her retiring. I forgot to tell you it was the prelude.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church's in-person and online worship. Whether today is your first time here or you've been coming for years, we're so glad you're with us. My name is Katrina Van Brew. My pronouns are she, her, or really whatever you want to call me, I don't care. I'm a member of the board, and I'm also your newsletter person. Yeah. We are a growing community that transforms lives through the power of love. Our mission calls us to celebrate diversity encourage spiritual growth, and promote social responsibility while we travel on and care for the earth. Welcome also to those who are at home who are joining us on Zoom. If you're attending for the first time, please go to our website, A2U2.org, and fill out the welcome card so we can know more about you. We have some announcements. Let's see, first off, save the date for February 20th. We're going to be having a cleanup of the memorial room, the boardroom, and the 7 and 9 classrooms. It's a Monday, but it's a holiday. So we hope you can join us 9 to 1, February 20th. And a reminder that if your group, your SEG, or even just you have anything in those rooms stored that is no longer needed, please remove them so the spaces will be better utilized by others. Please do not transfer those items to the basement, as that area is going to be getting remediated. Volunteers are needed on Monday, February 20th to clean and organize. Any questions, please contact Celeste Stickney. Your email is all over the place. Also today, directly after the service, we're going to be undecorating the church with taking down the holiday decorations. We would love for people to stay after and help out with that. The more, the merrier. And I believe we're also going to be having the brown bag lunch after church. So you can come and undecorate for a few minutes and then join your friends for lunch. And then finally, I just want to mention the Song Leading for Justice workshop with Matt Meyer, the 22nd of January, 12:30 to 2. That looks like a lot of fun, so please read about that. Now we invite you all to take this opportunity to silence your cell phones so that we can be fully present to one another. After the service, please grab a cup of coffee in the kitchen window and stay for conversation. We encourage you to find someone you've never met before and introduce yourself. Those on Zoom may stay on and connect with one another there. And now, let us center our hearts and minds with the ringing of the chimes.
Good morning. It's been a while. I haven't seen many of you for a couple weeks, and it's good to be back together. I hope your holidays were wonderful. If we don't know each other yet, my name is Reverend Tara, and my pronouns are she, her, and they, them, and I am the transitional minister here at A2U2. So worship today is designed with all ages in mind. So there will be no separate RE program. If, however, one of your kiddos would prefer to play in the nursery, nursery care is available, and you can see an usher at the back of the room if at any point that would be a better option for you. That being said, it is truly a joy to be together with members and friends here in this space of all ages. The wiggles and the noises that the youngest among us bring are a joyful reminder of the life and vibrancy of this faith community, this multi-generational community where all are welcome. And as my partner always says, a noisy church is a healthy church. So we embrace that today and always. And today we are celebrating Epiphany, the story of the 3 wise ones who followed that star. We'll reflect together on what stars guide us personally as individuals and the stars that guide us as a community. And so come and be welcome. You are joyfully called to worship. And as I light our chalice this morning, I'll do that first. We affirm that love is our greatest purpose, Accepting one another is the truest form of faithful living. The search for truth is our constant star. We pledge our hearts and minds and hands to challenge injustice with courage, to find hope in times of fear, and to live out our Unitarian Universalist values every day as a beloved community. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all that is sacred in this life. And our second candle this morning, our candle of community, I light in solidarity with those across the world resisting hatred and oppression. Yesterday, thank you. Yesterday was the 7th, which was the Eastern Orthodox celebration of Christmas. And many Ukrainians celebrated Orthodox Christmas even amidst ongoing attacks and violence. And so we bear witness to the power of faith and love, even amidst war. Let's take a breath together and hold in our hearts all those who are struggling. Blessed be. Our opening hymn this morning is We Three Kings. Dale will play it through once, and then we'll rise in body or in spirit and join our voices as one. The words will be on the screen, or you can find them in your gray hymnal, number 259. Just kidding, you'll find them on the screen. You probably know the song, too. Hang in there, guys. Those of you who know it can let it rip. stale. That tech fix was a Christmas miracle if I've ever seen one. There we go. All right, so I have a story to share, and you probably know what story it's going to be, and it has to do with these guys right here. The three kings. There may have actually been four. There's much mystery around these stories. And who's that? The camel. Yes. So, in the Christmas story, which we told on Christmas Eve and acted out with shadows on the wall, there were three wise souls from east of Jerusalem who saw a bright star, like that, who saw a bright star shining over Bethlehem, though they didn't know at the time that it was shining over Bethlehem. And these wise ones, does anybody know their names? Gaspar, Melchior, and Balthazar. Random, right? Sort of a mystery, and we don't really fully know where those came from, but that's what their names were. Those are what their names were. And so these three wise souls decided to follow that star. They traveled on their camels for days and days and days, 12 to be precise. They traveled over mountains, and they traveled through deserts, and they traveled across plains. And somehow, they knew that underneath that star they were following would be what they thought was the new king. They could not wait to meet him and to honor him. And on their way, they were getting really, really close. They bumped into King Herod. Not ideal. King Herod asked them, once they found the new king, if they would come back and tell him where he was. See, King Herod was afraid of losing his power, and he was trying to get some intel. And so they sort of, agreed, nodded perhaps, said something vague maybe, and they continued on their way. And finally, the three wise ones arrived. The star was hanging right over the town of Bethlehem. And they came upon a barn where they found Mary and baby Jesus, a tiny baby. They knew somehow, even though they were in a barn with a tiny baby and random shepherds with random animals, depending on the Christmas pageant any given year, they knew they were in the right place. And if you can see really tiny things, you'll see that our camel here has a little treasure chest attached to it. And in that treasure chest were the gifts that they brought for the baby. For the new king, they brought gold, for obvious reasons. They also brought frankincense, which I had to Google. I Google it every year. It's sort of like a kind of sacred oil that was used for temple worship, and it kind of comes in hard chunks. And they also brought myrrh, which I also had to Google, which is a strong, beautiful smelling oil for anointing. Beautiful smelling, maybe more like strong. They weren't actually really the best gifts for a baby, right? Think like swaddling blankets or bibs or something useful for Mary. But the wise ones didn't know much about what babies like or need. But these gifts were symbolic for, of things that were important to kings. And so eventually, after they had some time with the baby, I like to imagine that they were sort of holding him and trying to figure out what to do, and Mary was like, I don't really know either. When it was time for them to leave, They wanted to make sure that they didn't bump back into King Herod because they knew he was going to be up to no good. They knew he had cruel intentions. So they left and they went home a different way than they came. The amazing part of this journey, other than the true joyful fact that they brought the most ridiculous gifts, the amazing part of this journey, in my opinion, is that they arrived at all, right? They had no maps. They had no phone with a GPS, which is how I get around. They only had a sacred star to guide them, and guide them it did. Therein ends this morning's story. Bear witness, and would you please join me now in a time of silence for reflection, for meditation, and for prayer. Holy love that holds us all, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day and this gathered community of souls working to figure out what stars are ours to follow. We bring joy this day and we bring sorrow this day too, as we are human living on earth. And so we lift up some prayers this morning, lifting up prayers for Jose Gonzalez, for Xander and his travels, for visiting family, for Tony and his family, for all of those dealing with cancer, new diagnoses, and with loss. We celebrate the gifts in this life that are ours, and we pledge ourselves anew to follow the star of love in this world, that we might be your hands and your feet. May it be so. Amen.
We are a freely gathered, open, and welcoming faith community, supported by your contributions. Each week, 1/3 of our offering is given away to a nonprofit organization whose mission aligns with our Unitarian Universalist principles. This month's Share the Plate recipient is Furniture Friends, whose mission is to create homes and rebuild lives by providing donated furniture to people in need throughout Greater Portland. Donations can be made now, as the basket is passed, through the donate button on our website, A2U2.org, or if you are a member, on Breeze. If you are giving through Breeze, please note if the donation is your pledge or a gift to our Share the Plate. You may also mail a check directly to the church. If you are visiting us for the first time this morning, please know that your presence is your gift to us. At this time, our offering will be collected and gratefully received.
The Camels Speak by Lynn Ungar. Of course, they never consulted us. They were wise men, kings, star readers, and we merely transportation. They simply loaded us with gifts and turned us towards the star. I ask you, what would a king know of choosing presents for a child? Had they ever seen a baby born to such simple folks, so naked of pretension, so open to the wind? What would such a child care for perfumes and gold? Far better to have asked one born in the desert, tested by wind and sand. We saw what he would need, the gift of perseverance, of continuing on the hard way, making do with what there is, living on what you have inside. The gift of holding up under a burden, of lifting another with grace, of kneeling to accept the weight of what you must bear. Our footsteps could have rocked him with the rhythm of the road, shown him comfort in a harsh land, the dignity of continually moving forward. But the wise men were not wise enough to ask. They simply left their trinkets and admired the rustic view. Before you knew it, we were turned again towards home, carrying men only half willing to be amazed. But never mind, we saw the baby, felt him reach for the bright tassels of our gear. We desert amblers have our ways of seeing what you chatterers must miss. That child at heart knows something about following a star. Our gifts are given, have no doubt. His life will bear the print of who we are.
Thank you. That was awesome. So, the wise ones followed the star, not entirely sure where it would lead them. The journey was long and challenging, and they didn't know exactly what to bring with them, so they brought weird gifts like frankincense and myrrh. They also brought the holy gift of their love. But though they knew not where they were going, they did not wander aimlessly. They had a guide. Their feet and their minds and their hearts were guided by a star. And we each have values and core beliefs that guide us, something that serves as the North Star of our lives and helps us to be the people that we aspire to be. Perhaps it's love, or kindness, or mindfulness, or justice. Maybe it's one of our UU principles, or a quote that you love. Maybe it's your New Year's intention. Today, you each have the opportunity to receive a star word, a word to focus on this year to help root you and guide you. You may choose to use it in prayer or meditation, or put it up on your desk or your refrigerator. Your stars are hanging around the room, both on this window side against the wall and on that less window side against the wall. Not the stars that are hanging above. Those are for the cleanup crew later. And you'll notice that the words are facing away from us. That's because you're not choosing your word. Your word is choosing you. There is also a special lowered to the ground strand of stars that are a little bit more accessible words for our children. So find a star that you are drawn to and receive your star word with an open mind and an open heart. As Dale begins to play, all are invited to rise and choose a star. If you need to stay seated for any reason or would prefer that, please raise your hand and one of your friends, someone sitting near you, will bring one to you. If we run out, I have more, so come find me. And there are also some extras on the Joys and Sorrows table. And for those of you who are on Zoom this morning, you will be receiving your star word through the chat, which is why I have my laptop. So I will see you on the screen. Come, all things are now ready. Do you need one? And while I continue to type, share your word with those around you. All right. All right. All right. So, in the same way that we each have values and beliefs that guide us individually in our lives, we also have values and beliefs that act as the North Star of our community, that guide the way that we treat one another, the way that we welcome people in, and the way that we choose what's most important to us. The North Star in this community, Allen A2U2 Church, is our mission, the covenants that we have and keep with one another, and our Unitarian Universalist principles and sources. But there is more, right? There's more that guides us. There's more that roots us. And so around the room, you'll see 4 different posters. One by the well, I guess there's 4 exits too. 3 exits. Yeah, so one up here by the screen, another one right all the way at the back, another one on the door of the tech closet, which is fine if you close it, and then another here by Annie. So those are our A2U2 North Star values. And so you're invited, as Dale begins to play again, God bless you, Dale. You're invited to rise and find a poster writing inside the star what you believe to be one of our most important guiding values. There are markers near each of the posters. You might just have to search a little bit. And those of you who are on Zoom, please type yours into the chat, and I will write them down and then transfer them to the poster boards for you. Again, come. All things are now ready. right. And for those of you who are still writing, take your time. We'll slowly return to our seats as we're ready. No rush, really, for reals. You're just going to get up and sing. So our closing hymn is What Gift Can We Bring? It's number 404 in the hymnal you don't have, so never mind. The words will appear on the screen. Dale will play it through once, and then I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join me in song. Other hymn. Believe it or not, we are not wandering aimlessly. Like the wise ones, we are guided. We are guided by the stars in our hearts and on our cardstock. We are guided by the stars of our mission and our values. And we are guided by the star of our faith. We are not wandering alone. Our worship has ended, and our service, the true work of Christmas, begins. Go in peace, and blessed be.